You know what's stopping you from being unstoppable. It's not your circumstances, not your past, not your lack of resources. It's you. It's the weak feelings, the doubts, the fears you let control your mind. Every time you hesitate, every time you second guess yourself, every time you let fear hold you back, you're reinforcing weakness. But listen to me, weakness is not who you are. Weakness is a habit. It's something you've trained yourself to accept. And just like any habit, it can be broken. Today we are killing it. Right here, right now, we are putting an end to hesitation, fear, self-doubt, and every excuse that's been holding you back. Because emotions are habits. You don't wait to feel strong, you train yourself for strength. Weak feelings are lies. Don't believe them. Most people go through life letting their emotions dictate their decisions. They wake up feeling tired, so they drag through the day. They feel doubt creeping in, so they hesitate. They feel afraid, so they retreat. But here's the truth. Weak feelings are nothing more than lies. They are illusions that trick you into playing small, into staying safe, into avoiding the very things that would make you stronger. Think about it. How many times have you wanted to take action on something important, but then your feelings got in the way? Maybe you wanted to start that business, but fear of failure stopped you. Maybe you wanted to step into a leadership role, but insecurity made you question yourself. Maybe you wanted to push your body to new levels, but the discomfort of growth made you back down. In every single case, it wasn't reality that stopped you. It wasn't an external force. It was a feeling, a weak feeling that whispered, you can't do this. You're not ready. You might fail. And you believed it. But here's the thing. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are simply signals, and most of the time they are based on old wiring that no longer serves you. Your brain is designed for survival, not success. It wants to keep you safe, comfortable, and away from anything that feels uncertain. That's why it sends out feelings of doubt, hesitation, and fear. But just because you feel something doesn't mean it's real. The feeling of fear doesn't mean danger is present. The feeling of doubt doesn't mean you're incapable. The feeling of weakness doesn't mean you lack strength. It just means your mind is trying to keep you in the familiar, even if the familiar is keeping you stuck. You have to stop listening to the voice of weakness. You have to stop letting emotions dictate your actions. Success, power, and transformation don't come from how you feel. They come from what you do. If you wait until you feel confident, you'll never start. If you wait until you feel fearless, you'll never take action. If you wait until your emotions are perfectly aligned with your goals, you'll stay exactly where you are. Champions, leaders, warriors. These people don't operate based on feelings, they operate based on commitment. They move forward regardless of what their emotions say. Weak feelings will always try to convince you that you're not ready, that now isn't the right time, that you don't have what it takes. But those are lies. And the moment you recognize them as lies, you take away their power, you stop being controlled by them, you start moving forward despite them, and that's when everything changes. Fear and doubt are patterns. You can break them. Fear and doubt are not unique to you. They are not special conditions that only you experience. Every single person, no matter how successful, has faced them. The difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck is not whether they feel fear and doubt, it's how they respond to it. And here's the key. Fear and doubt are not permanent conditions. They are patterns. And just like any pattern, they can be broken. Think about how a pattern works. If you do something enough times, it becomes automatic. The first time you doubted yourself, it was a conscious thought. The 10th time, it became a habit. The 100th time, it became your identity. The same goes for fear. The first time you backed away from discomfort, it was a choice. The 10th time, it became normal. The 100th time, it became who you are. But just because something has been repeated doesn't mean it has to continue. Patterns can be interrupted. They can be replaced. Look at your own life. Where does fear show up the most? Where does doubt creep in? What triggers it? Maybe it's the thought of speaking in public. Maybe it's the idea of taking a risk. Maybe it's the pressure of stepping into a bigger role. Whatever it is, understand that your brain is just following an old pattern. It's responding the same way it always has, but the moment you decide to change your response, everything shifts. The key to breaking these patterns is action. Fear and doubt thrive in inaction. They feed on hesitation. The longer you wait, the stronger they get. But the second you take action, despite the fear, despite the doubt, you start to rewire your brain. You prove to yourself that fear is not a stop sign, that doubt is not a roadblock, that you can feel uncertainty and still move forward. One of the most powerful ways to break fear and doubt is through exposure. The more you face what you fear, the less power it has. If speaking in public terrifies you, do it again and again until it becomes normal. If taking risks makes you uncomfortable, take them so often that they feel like second nature. If you doubt your abilities, push yourself into situations where you have no choice but to grow. Fear and doubt cannot survive in an environment of constant action. But action alone isn't enough. You have to change the way you think. You have to catch yourself when you start repeating the old patterns. When fear starts creeping in, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this real or is this just a habit? When doubt tries to take over, question it. Is there actual evidence that I can't do this, or is this just an old story I've been telling myself? The moment you start questioning your patterns, they begin to lose their grip on you. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you train it to push through fear, the stronger it gets. The more you condition it to ignore doubt, the more unstoppable you become. Every time you act in the face of fear, you weaken its hold. Every time you move forward despite doubt, you rewrite the pattern. And over time, the fear that once paralyzed you becomes fuel. The doubt that once held you back becomes motivation. The very thing that once controlled you becomes the thing that drives you forward. Emotions are habits. Train yourself for strength. Most people think emotions are spontaneous, uncontrollable reactions to life. They believe that if they feel anxious, unmotivated, or weak, it's just something that happens to them. But the truth is, emotions are habits. They are patterns you've conditioned yourself to follow over time. And just like any habit, they can be trained, rewired, and replaced with something stronger. Think about how you wake up in the morning. Do you feel energized and ready to dominate the day? Or do you feel sluggish, heavy, and unmotivated? That feeling isn't random. It's not just because of how you slept. It's because of what you've trained your brain and body to expect. If every morning you wake up and immediately start scrolling through your phone, thinking about stress or dwelling on problems, then your body has learned that this is how it should feel every morning. But if you condition yourself differently, if you wake up, move your body, control your focus, and set a powerful intention, your brain will begin to expect that energy every morning. The same applies to every other emotion you experience. If you constantly allow yourself to feel overwhelmed, your brain will make it automatic. If you frequently dwell on fear, your nervous system will get used to reacting that way. If you repeatedly feel doubt, it will become your default state. The emotions you experience the most are the ones you've practiced the most. But just like any habit, they are not permanent. They can be changed. Training your emotions starts with awareness. You have to catch yourself in the moment when weak emotions start creeping in. The second you feel hesitation, frustration, or fear, stop and ask yourself, is this a habit or is this real? Most of the time, you'll realize it's just an automatic response. You're feeling doubt because you felt doubt in similar situations before. But if you break that cycle, if you choose a different response in that moment, you start rewiring the pattern. One of the most effective ways to rewire emotions is through physiology. Your emotions are deeply tied to how you use your body. If you sit slouched over, breathe shallowly, and move slowly, your brain will naturally produce weaker emotions. But if you stand tall, breathe deeply, move with intensity, and engage your body, your brain will follow that shift. That's why movement is so powerful. When you push your body to new limits, whether through training, intense action, or stepping into discomfort, you force your emotions to adapt. You can't feel weak if you're moving with strength. You can't feel small if you're standing with power. The next key to emotional conditioning is focus. Whatever you focus on expands. If you constantly focus on what's missing, what's wrong, or what's difficult, your emotions will reflect that. But if you shift your focus to what's possible, what's working, and what you're capable of, your emotions will follow. This is not some vague concept, it's a trained discipline. When you wake up in the morning, do you focus on your problems or do you focus on your vision? When you face a challenge, do you focus on the struggle or do you focus on the opportunity? That split-second decision determines the emotional state you live in. The final step is language. The words you use, both out loud and in your mind, shape your emotional reality. If you constantly say, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed, or this is too hard, your brain will create emotions to match those words. But if you shift your language, if you start saying, I am powerful, I've got this is just another level to conquer, your emotions will follow. Words are commands to your nervous system. If you want to train yourself for strength, start speaking the language of strength. Decide right now to kill weak thoughts. Your mind is a battlefield. Every day you are at war with thoughts that try to pull you down, keep you small, and hold you back. Weak thoughts don't show up as loud, obvious statements. They creep in subtly. They whisper things like, maybe I should wait, I don't know if I'm ready, what if I fail? And most people don't even question them. They accept those thoughts as truth and live their entire lives held back by invisible chains. But the truth is, weak thoughts are nothing more than mental habits, and just like any habit, they can be destroyed if you decide to kill them. The first step to killing weak thoughts is recognizing them. Most people don't even realize how much negativity runs through their minds daily. They've become so used to doubting themselves, overanalyzing and hesitating that it feels normal. But if you start paying attention, if you start listening to your own mind, you'll see how often weak thoughts try to take control. And the second you recognize them, you have to attack them. You can't negotiate with weak thoughts. You can't entertain them, analyze them, or let them sit in your mind. You have to shut them down immediately. The moment doubt creeps in, replace it with certainty. The moment fear starts speaking, silence it with action. The moment hesitation tries to hold you back, force yourself forward. Weak thoughts can only survive if you feed them. The longer you dwell on them, the stronger they get. But if you kill them the second they appear, they lose all their power. One of the most powerful ways to kill weak thoughts is by flooding your mind with something stronger. If you let your mind run on autopilot, it will default to the thoughts you've practiced the most. But if you take control, if you consciously fill your mind with powerful beliefs, unshakable confidence, and relentless focus, you leave no room for weakness. That's why what you feed your mind daily is critical. If you constantly consume negativity, weak thoughts will thrive. But if you flood your mind with strength, discipline, and possibility, weak thoughts will suffocate. Your environment plays a massive role in this. If you surround yourself with people who reinforce weak thinking, it will be nearly impossible to break free. If everyone around you is constantly doubting, complaining, or hesitating, their energy will infect your mind. But if you place yourself in an environment of strength, if you surround yourself with people who think bigger, push harder, and refuse to settle, your mind will rise to that level. Energy is contagious. If you want to kill weak thoughts, put yourself in a space where only powerful thoughts are allowed to exist. Another key strategy is self-command. Most people allow their thoughts to control them instead of controlling their thoughts. They assume that whatever pops into their mind is real, but the truth is, your thoughts are nothing more than mental habits. And just like any habit, they can be changed if you take control. When a weak thought appears, don't just sit there and let it run wild. Shut it down. Override it with a command. Tell yourself, no, that is not my thought. That is not my reality. The more you do this, the more your mind learns to obey you instead of the other way around. The final step is action. You can't think your way out of weak thoughts. You have to act your way out. When your mind tells you to wait, move forward. When your mind tells you to hold back, go all in. When your mind tells you that you're not ready, prove it wrong by taking action. Weak thoughts only survive in hesitation. The second you act, they die. Your mind is a tool. It will serve whatever master you allow. If you let weakness take control, it will lead you to a life of hesitation, regret, and missed potential. But if you decide right now to take control, to kill weak thoughts the moment they appear, to refuse to be held back for one more second, then you will step into a level of power most people never even experience. Take massive action. Don't wait for motivation. Most people wait for the perfect moment, the right feeling, the spark of motivation before they take action. They sit around hoping for inspiration to strike, but that's not how results are created. Action is what produces motivation, not the other way around. If you rely on feelings to determine when you move, you'll stay stuck. The most successful people in the world don't feel like taking action all the time, but they do it anyway. They understand that momentum is built through movement. The first step is always the hardest, but once you push past it, energy follows. You can't afford to sit around hoping to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. The moment you take action, your brain shifts, your emotions follow, and motivation kicks in. The more you act, the more confident you become. The longer you wait, the weaker you feel. Massive action eliminates doubt, crushes hesitation, and rewires your mind for progress. Your greatest life is on the other side of fear. Fear is the invisible wall standing between you and everything you've ever wanted. It disguises itself as logic, caution, or the need for more preparation, but it's really just an illusion designed to keep you comfortable. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding fear, running from discomfort, and staying inside their safe little box. But every major breakthrough, every moment of growth, every level of success comes from stepping straight into what scares you. The greatest rewards are hidden behind the things you resist the most. Fear isn't a stop sign, it's a signal. It's pointing you toward the exact thing you need to conquer. The people who achieve greatness aren't fearless, they just refuse to let fear make decisions for them. Every time you push through fear, you become stronger. Every time you back away, it gains more control over you. Train yourself to run toward fear, to embrace the discomfort, to see it as proof that you're growing. Excuses keep you small, eliminate them. Excuses are the chains that keep people trapped in mediocrity. They feel real, they sound logical, but they are nothing more than stories you tell yourself to justify staying the same. Every time you say, I don't have time, I'm not ready, or it's too hard, you reinforce limitations that don't actually exist. The truth is, people who succeed have the same obstacles, the same struggles, the same reasons to quit, but they refuse to let excuses dictate their future. Excuses steal your power because they shift responsibility away from you. The moment you take full ownership, no blaming circumstances, no waiting for the right conditions, you take back control. If you want real results, you have to kill every excuse the second it appears. Stop looking for reasons why you can't and start focusing on how you will. The more you eliminate excuses, the more unstoppable you become. Push through resistance. Growth happens in discomfort. The moment you start pushing towards something greater, resistance will show up. It will come in the form of fear, doubt, fatigue, distractions, anything to make you slow down or stop. Most people see resistance as a sign to back off, but in reality, it's proof that you're on the right path. Growth only happens when you push past your current limits. If it's comfortable, you're not growing. If it's easy, you're not getting stronger. The most powerful breakthroughs happen when you feel like quitting but decide to keep going anyway. Resistance isn't there to stop you, it's there to test you, to see if you're serious about leveling up. Every time you push through it, you expand your capacity, build resilience, and prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. The more you embrace discomfort, the faster you grow. Train yourself to seek resistance, to lean into the struggle, to welcome the challenge, because that's where transformation happens. You are stronger than you think. Prove it daily. Most people have no idea how powerful they really are. They live based on past experiences, past failures, and past limitations, assuming that's all they're capable of. But the truth is, you have barely scratched the surface of your potential. Your mind will always try to convince you to stop before you reach your true limits. It will tell you that you're too tired, too weak, not ready. But that's a lie. You are stronger than you think, and the only way to prove it is through action. Every day you have a choice to accept the limits your mind gives you or to push past them. Strength isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. The more you challenge yourself, the more you realize what you're truly capable of. Growth happens when you demand more from yourself, when you refuse to settle, when you push one step further than you thought possible. Own your power. No more waiting, no more hesitation. Too many people go through life waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right level of confidence before they take action. But waiting is a trap. The more you hesitate, the more power you give away. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success. You have to claim it. The second you decide to take control, everything shifts. Owning your power means no more excuses, no more doubts, no more playing small. It means stepping up even when you're unsure, taking action even when you're afraid, moving forward even when it's uncomfortable. The people who create real change in their lives are the ones who stop waiting and start doing. The moment you take full responsibility for where you are and where you're going, you take back control. You already have everything you need. You just have to stop hesitating and start owning it. No more waiting. No more excuses. No more weakness. You have everything you need right now to step into the strongest version of yourself. The only thing standing in your way is the old story you've been telling yourself. It's time to rewrite it. Own your power, kill the weak thoughts, push through resistance, and take massive action. Because the life you want is waiting, but only if you're willing to step up and claim it. This is your moment. This is your time. Now go make it happen. And if you're ready for more, stay locked in right here on Tony Robbins. Let's go.